Welcome. It's July 29th. We're a little late on the weekly garden tour this week. Yeah, we've been busy. It's been really busy around here. We're coming up on goat kidding season. It's a little late than normal. Usually like to kid out in May. Alas, here we are, almost August. So, kids are due next weekend. So we'll be busy with that. So I'm not sure if we're going to get to a tour next week. We'll see how it goes. So things are kind of piddling out a little bit. The water in this bed is doing really well, so everything looks pretty lush. But the other beds have seen better days. But we'll start with looking at this giant pumpkin. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's probably up to 80 pounds now. Don't know where that came from. At least the size, because white pumpkins tend to not get that big. And then go over here. Got some regular orange pumpkins in here. Really good size. Just a decent standard jack-o'-lantern type pumpkin. Don't know if I have many watermelons. There's some little melons in there. Nothing worth picking, I guess. It looks like our amethyst cream tomato is ready to start picking. So let's try one of those. It feels about, go up here. That one's ready. Can I see that? I don't know if you can see that. Trying to do this one-handed. It's not working so well. So, these are for Brad Gates' farm. They're actually quite tasty. Oh, fruity. Sweet. I think that one's worth growing again. Definitely push that. That's a tasty tomato. Let's see if I can get a better photo of that. And I don't like the tomatoes raw, so that's saying something. So we'll see. Pick this one. I had peaches in my hand, that's why I couldn't focus real well. There we go. See, that's kind of blushes on one side. Wow. That might be one of those that I just eat right off the vine. There aren't many of those that I will do that with. Snow White, I think, is the only other one that I find tasty enough to do that with. The pears are ready to start getting picked. Oh, they look great. I think I thought it was a boss, but it looks like it might be actually a Bartlett. That's weird. Oh well. Pears are nice and big. Look at those guys. Noisy little goat. She got weaned this week. She's not happy about it. So, she has a lot to say. She's very opinionated. It's like my Romnea coulteri is going deciduous, which is okay in the summer. It tends to happen. You don't want to water them during the summer because they can rot really easily. Not seeing any. Might be some. These are sunshine bumblebee tomatoes. There might be some ripe ones in the back, but I'll save that for another time. See if we can get through these pumpkins. Here's another giant white pumpkin in there. Our corn is falling down. That's our drying corn. There's a flower corn called, I think it's Painted Mountain that we're growing, or Mandan Bride. It might be Mandan Bride. It's an heirloom. great for flour, like cornmeal. There's 3 different types of dry corn. There's flint, which has a thicker shell on it. There's dent, and then there's flour. Oh, and there's also popcorn, so I guess there's 4. Popcorn tends to be starchier with a thinner shell. Flour is a thinner shell, also starchier, but slightly different than the popcorn. We're also growing a popcorn variety called Bear Paw. It's a really interesting looking cob. It's not linear. It kind of splits at the end, hence its name. Really good popcorn around here. You can hear the driving loud cars. So our sunflower is kind of taking over our path because the head is so heavy. We're going to have to look at staking that up. It's big. Here we have, get by that thing. So we have a Virginia Sweets ripening. Excited about that. Try that. That's another new one this year. And then all these little currants are getting ripe. You get some photos of those. This one, which one is this? This is an orange oxheart. Quite a bit of fruit. There's nothing ripening yet. It's a little early. Our asparagus is doing pretty well now. Took a while, but it looks like most of it didn't come up. Just a small amount. That's kind of a bummer. These candy sweet icicles. So this is our first year growing them. Also another introduction from Brad Gates. And he's the one that has created the Brad's Atomic Grape. These are similar size, similar color, different flavor, but really, really tasty. I don't find the striped ones to generally be tasty, but these are really good. And then this one is no ripe ones yet. This tends to be a later tomato. This is called a hillbilly. This one we grow every year because we love it. Big, giant beefsteaks. They tend to get really, really big. I have a squash here. I don't know what that is. Don't know. I suspect it's from this vine. We'll see. I have to look and see what I grew because it doesn't look familiar. All right. The Thessalonikis are getting ripe. Yeah, living in the town. So these Thessalonikis are the best tomatoes. If you ask us what the best tomato is, we'll tell you it's this one. Hands down. You see the amaranth that's blooming like crazy. We're harvesting corn. The Nebraska wedding are ripening too. Those are good. This is a Principe Borghese. These are your traditional Italian sun-drying tomato. So they're small. Best when they're dried because it intensifies their flavor. You can see our beans are pretty much done. We're letting them go to seed now. They tend not to cross-pollinate, which makes them easy for seed saving. However, it looks like we have created our own hybrid right here, because this side was supposed to be goat's eye, and they're supposed to be green, like that guy, but they're purple. And we usually grow them with the purple potted pole. So it looks like they crossed. Which is cool. That's fine. We'll just save seed and see what happens with those. Have to make sure we have to check this corn. The sweet corn thing is getting ready to pull some more of. Let's see the garden. It's a really lovely evening. So we're gonna go over here and put my basket of eggs and zucchini and peaches down. It's this evening's harvest. Probably more out there to pick, but those are the more pressing things. Let's go over here. We've been harvesting the dry beans pretty regularly. We've potted up a bunch of our native plants into 1-gallon pots, so those will be available later in the year, probably September, October. We're redoing our front yard, so a lot of the plants that are in here will be going in the front yard, but the ones that don't will be for sale. And then over here is our mother stock. You can see the color on the rabies aureum, or yellow golden currant. It's pretty spectacular. The kiwi vines looking pretty good. Didn't get any fruit this year because my husband whacked them down too far. They didn't flower. So we had some apples. Those are Arkansas Black. I like them. They don't have to be covered like the other ones because they're so late in the season that they miss the codling moth. Oh, Bubbles. There's a Bubble. There she is. Hi, Bubbles. We're harvesting potatoes now. So those are ready to go. These little guys, you know, for being grown in pots, I was expecting them to be more of like indeterminates where they all harvest all at once, but these guys just keep going. So I'm pretty happy with those. Again, this is Minnie Belle and the Red Robin. So we'll be offering those again for those of you that have to grow on the patio or in pots or have limited space. Oh, look at these. So these, let's get some over here. These are the Brussels sprouts that we're growing for people. It's a whole lot of them. These will be ready in a couple more weeks. They're netted for two reasons. One is squirrels, and the other is cabbage moths, or cabbage worms. They're little white butterflies. This keeps them off of them, so you don't get on them as easily. Uh-oh, there's a kitty stuck. And then some cuttings that are doing well. They'll be needing to get potted up soon. And mint. It's a creepy guy. And that's your tour for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. A little longer than last week, that's for sure. But got to talk a lot about what's going on here. And I hope we'll see you next week if we can. If not, it'll be the week after. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.